Welcome back to our channel, friends and fellow Africans. What I'm about to reveal today will shock many of you. The extraordinary security revolution happening right now in Burkina Faso that Western media refuses to cover. President Ibrahim Traoré is deploying cutting-edge military and surveillance technology that rivals systems used by global superpowers, and there's a strategic reason behind this massive investment that nobody is talking about. The urgency of Burkina Faso's security transformation became brutally clear just yesterday when militants from Jamaat Nasser al-Qaeda-affiliated group launched a devastating assault on army positions in Djibo, Somme province, in northern Burkina Faso. At dawn, hundreds of militants attacked from the west, targeting the 26th Rapid Response Unit while many soldiers were still asleep, tragically unalive some as they tried to flee. This horrific assault lasted nearly half a day and reportedly left up to 100 civilians and soldiers dead. But here's where the story takes a disturbing turn. Instead of reporting the truth, Western media outlets immediately attempted to blame the Burkina military for the attack. This deliberate misinformation campaign reveals something sinister at work. As the evidence mounts, it's becoming increasingly clear that these terrorist activities are being covertly sponsored by Western interests, determined to destabilize any African nation seeking true independence.
So we have some major breaking news coming from Burkina Faso. The government of Burkina Faso has discovered over 1,000 motorbikes in a forest in the northern part of Burkina Faso. These motorbikes belonged to terrorists, and these terrorists, when they heard IbrahimTraoré is back from Moscow just the other day, they abandoned everything that they had and they ran to Ivory Coast. Video that is circulating online shows people moving inside a forest, and this forest is full of motorbikes. So these terrorists have been using these motorbikes to go and attack the people in the northern part of Burkina Faso. But when they heard how IbrahimTraoré came from Moscow and was having so many drones and equipment, you won't believe that they just decided to leave that site and run away. Now the question is, who has been fueling these motorbikes and who has been funding these terrorists in the northern part of Burkina Faso? This is the Ivorian Coast president together with France. Their mission is to destabilize Burkina Faso and ensuring that IbrahimTraoré steps down. But now IbrahimTraoré has sent a clear message that he is there to stay and Africa must unite this time round.
This is precisely why President Traoré's security investments are not just necessary, they're existential. Imagine this: advanced thermal detection systems that can identify human heat signatures in total darkness up to 150 meters away. High-precision cameras with standard vision reaching an incredible 1 kilometer, equipped with laser modules extending night vision capabilities to 300 meters. And that's just the beginning. Some of these sophisticated surveillance systems can extend night vision capabilities up to an astonishing 2 kilometers, allowing security forces to monitor vast areas with crystal clarity even in pitch-black conditions, potentially preventing ambushes like the one in Djibo. These systems include Wi-Fi connectivity modules for remote monitoring and control, creating a nationwide security network that can respond to threats in real time. The technology comes primarily from Burkina Faso's deepening strategic partnerships with Russia and China, relationships that have Western powers deeply concerned. In a historic move that sent shockwaves through Western diplomatic circles, Captain Ibrahim Traoré stood proudly alongside President Vladimir Putin during Russia's Grand Victory Day military parade in May 2024. This wasn't merely a ceremonial appearance. It signaled the culmination of extensive military cooperation agreements that have been quietly developing since Traoré came to power. According to reliable sources, Russian military advisors are now providing elite training to Burkina Faso's special forces, with particular focus on counter-terrorism operations against the very jihadist groups responsible for attacks like the one in Djibo. What's even more significant is that Russia has reportedly agreed to supply Burkina Faso with advanced drone technology and helicopter gunships, capabilities that will dramatically transform the nation's ability to detect and neutralize terrorist threats before they can strike civilian populations. The truth about what's happening in the Sahel region points to only two possible outcomes. Either we're witnessing the beginning of total liberation of Africa from neo-colonialism, or we're heading towards something far darker, a Western military invasion of Africa, not just targeting one country, but potentially threatening the entire continent. The stakes couldn't be higher, and Ibrahim Traoré understands this existential threat better than most. This is the age of information, and the old colonial tricks aren't working anymore. Africans across the continent are awakening to the reality that terrorism in the Sahel isn't random. It's a calculated response to the rise of truly independent African leadership. When Captain Traoré expelled French forces and took control of Burkina Faso's vast gold reserves, the response was swift. Increased terrorist activity specifically targeting areas where the government was establishing resource sovereignty. Unlike previous leaders who relied on Western powers for security guarantees, agreements that came with exploitative economic conditions, Traoré recognized that true sovereignty begins with the ability to defend one's own territory. In a leaked diplomatic cable I obtained from reliable sources, a Western intelligence officer admitted that Traoré's security strategy is aimed at creating complete operational independence from former colonial powers. This independence is precisely what makes him dangerous to those who have exploited Africa for centuries. This security revolution is directly connected to Burkina Faso's economic transformation. The country has vast gold reserves worth billions of dollars, but for decades, Western mining companies extracted this wealth while leaving little behind. One of Traoré's first moves was to deploy these new security systems to protect national mining operations, ensuring that Burkina's gold actually benefits Burkina's people. And the results are already visible. Using revenue from newly secured gold mines, the government has completed the spectacular Ouaga shopping mall in Ouagadougou, a true architectural marvel that's the first of its kind in Africa. This isn't just another shopping center, it's a bold statement of Burkina Faso's new direction. The entire complex is fully powered by clean solar energy, tapping into the country's abundant sunshine. As a Sahel country, blessed with intense sunlight, Burkina Faso under Ibrahim Traoré has invested in major solar infrastructure, including the Zakuli plant generating 33 megawatts, the Negrono plant producing 30 megawatts, and the Dosing plant with 25 megawatts capacity. What's even more impressive about the Ouaga shopping mall is that from its masterpiece architectural design to the workforce behind its world-class construction, everything was locally sourced. No foreign contractors, no imported expertise, just Burkinabe talent showcasing what Africans can achieve when given the opportunity. The mall features luxurious modern lodging apartments and suites where visitors can stay and simply take an elevator to access shopping areas without ever leaving the complex. Perhaps most shocking of all, this magnificent structure was built without borrowing a single franc from international financial institutions. The government relied entirely on its gross domestic product, primarily from the gold and cotton sectors that are now being properly managed for national benefit. The mall is projected to generate over $50 million in annual revenue, funds that will be reinvested in further development projects rather than servicing foreign debt. China's role in this transformation cannot be understated. According to my sources, the surveillance technology I mentioned earlier comes from a groundbreaking partnership with Chinese manufacturers. But unlike typical arrangements where Chinese companies simply export finished products, this deal includes comprehensive technology transfer protocols. Burkina Faso is establishing its own production facilities for security equipment, with Chinese engineers training local technicians. Within 5 years, these systems will be designed, manufactured, and maintained entirely by Burkinabe professionals. This approach extends beyond security technology. The Chinese partnership includes agricultural modernization projects that are transforming food production across the country. New irrigation systems are reclaiming thousands of hectares from drought conditions, while modern farming equipment is being distributed to rural communities. Agricultural processing facilities are being established nationwide, allowing farmers to add value to their crops before export. Another dimension of Traoré's strategy that Western media deliberately ignores is the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States with Mali and Niger. This trilateral security and economic pact represents a fundamental shift in regional politics. The three nations have established joint military commands, integrated intelligence sharing, and coordinated border security operations, all essential for countering the terrorist threats that seem suspiciously timed to destabilize resource-rich regions. Russian military advisors are reportedly working with all three countries to establish a regional rapid response force capable of deploying quickly to counter terrorist threats anywhere in the Sahel. This force will operate independently of Western-backed security initiatives like the G5 Sahel, which many in the region viewed as ineffective and compromised by foreign agendas. The healthcare system is also being revolutionized, with unexpected help from Cuban medical professionals. Dozens of Cuban doctors have arrived in Burkina Faso to establish medical training centers and rural clinics. Their expertise in delivering quality healthcare with limited resources has proven invaluable in expanding medical services to previously underserved regions. What's truly remarkable about all these developments is how they've been achieved despite Western sanctions and diplomatic pressure. When Captain Traoré first announced his intention to reclaim Burkina Faso's sovereignty over its resources, Western powers responded with financial restrictions and thinly veiled threats. Rather than backing down, Traoré accelerated partnerships with Russia, China, and other nations committed to a multipolar world order. The question we must ask is this: why is Western media completely silent about these remarkable achievements while exaggerating or fabricating negative stories? Why do certain powers want to portray African nations like Burkina Faso as failures needing outside intervention? The answer is uncomfortable, but clear. Independent African success threatens the neo-colonial economic order that has exploited our continent for centuries. Friends, the transformation happening in Burkina Faso represents hope for all of Africa. These achievements remain largely unknown because they challenge the narrative that African nations cannot succeed without Western oversight and control. That's why I'm asking you to help break through this media blackout. This is the age of information, and your old tricks won't work here anymore. Africans are awake now. My sources indicate that Captain Traoré's next major project will be even more ambitious, a nationwide high-speed rail network connecting major cities and agricultural regions. This infrastructure will revolutionize internal commerce and position Burkina Faso as a key transportation hub for West Africa. Our next video will provide exclusive details and footage of this groundbreaking initiative. If you found this information valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for regular updates on Africa's true development stories, and share this with friends who care about African independence. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts on Burkina Faso's remarkable journey. The Africa they don't want you to see is rising. Together we can spread the truth about these transformations that mainstream media refuses to cover. This is your host signing off until next time, when we'll bring you more hidden stories from the continent's brightest spots. Peace and prosperity to all of Africa.